For this first stage in Mauritania and on his 50th birthday, Nicolas Duto, the paraplegic rider, finished 41st in 2 hours 13:36. A difficult day for Julie Vanaken. She took a fall last week and twisted her ankle, and today she fell again at kilometre 99. After a medical check, she was allowed to continue, and she has hurt her left shoulder. A track rider, more experienced on a circuit than in the desert, finished first Motul Xtreme rider today. Amaury Baratin, aboard his KTM, has only been riding off-road for 2 years and came in 8th overall today. Today was fast. Speed is my thing. I was full throttle. I couldn't have gone any faster. The first Frenchman, Norbert Dubois, rode well, a little like 10 years ago when he finished the rally second. It's the first stage in Mauritania, so we need to stay cool. No predictions just now. Today went well. There was a dune crossing and I got stuck twice. It was so soft, so I was a bit surprised the first time. The second time I took it wrong again. I lost the 2 or 3 minutes, and after that I eased off because after 100 kilometers I'd already emptied the rear tank and I still had 70 to do with the front tank, and I had to be careful because at my size I burned through it. Some new blood at the top today, as the leaders' strategies meant they eased off so as not to have to lead out tomorrow. So Botturi, overall leader, finished 20th today. Same idea for Paul Anders Ullevalseter. The Norwegian two-time winner of the race is an old hand at this. He didn't want to start first tomorrow either. He finished in 15th place. Third at the beginning of the new week, Paolo Lucci was inspired by his compatriot Fabrizio Meoni. I left 6th this morning. During the first few kilometers I had a navigation problem because of the wind. It took me off the course. In the end, we all finished together. It wasn't very long. We ate a bit of sand.
I
liked it. The next few days will be different. I hope to carry on like this. Two Italians in the top 3. Giovanni Gritti finished second. A great performance for this sand aficionado who's taken part in many Enduro de Touquets. Performance of the day goes to Matt Sutherland, the youngest member of Lyndon Poskitt's Races to Places team. For the first time in 12 years, an Australian has won an Africa Eco Race stage. Not bad for his first time riding a rally bike. Let's have a look at the results. Victory for Matt Sutherland ahead of Giovanni Gritti and Paolo Lucci. Norbert Dubois is 6th. In the GC, Botturi is still in the lead with 2 minutes and 5 seconds ahead of Ullevalseter and 21:19 from Poskitt. Konrad Dabrowski is 6th. Over 478 kilometers of time stage between Chamy and Edzidin. In the second Mauritanian stage, Nicolas Duto came in 53rd place. Hats off to Mamadou Bokoum. The Senegalese rider is in the Motul Xtreme rider camp and finished today in 20th place, putting him 20th and 3rd Motul Xtreme rider in the GC. A nod to this driver who came from very far from here. Ashish Raran from India is a naval engineer and started riding 5 years ago. He was 31st today. Far, far from the leaders, Paul Anders Ullevalseter and Alessandro Botturi decided to hold back yesterday so as to not have to lead out. A wise decision. Leaving 15th, the Norwegian arrived exhausted in 3rd place after a very long day.
Oh, one of the longest day ever. Maybe because I'm getting old, but I'm very tired now. We we was so lost. We was far away for maybe 20 minutes, half an hour, I don't know. But and then we had not on the limit with the fuel for some bikes, I think, after we've been lost for so long. And it was a very hard day. And from kilometers 300 to 400 was very physical with the camel grass, soft small dunes. But it's nice to be here now.
Similar thoughts from Alessandro Botturi at the finish line. He rode much of the day with Ullevalseter. Setting off in 20th place, he finished in 2nd, riding past many others with the Norwegian. The first part of the stage was very difficult. I was with Paul and other riders. We lost 30 to 40 minutes and then we found the waypoint and we set off. Well done to Gritti and Lucci. Indeed, a huge bravo to Paolo Lucci. After his 3rd plate yesterday, he won on board his Husqvarna in a time of 6 hours 14 minutes. Once again, pending ratification by the race stewards, here are the results. First stage victory for Lucci ahead of Botturi and Ullevalseter. Norbert Dubois is first Frenchman in 14th place. In the GC, Botturi is still in the lead, but Ullevalseter is only 4 minutes 6 seconds behind him. Paolo Lucci gains 2 places to go into 3rd. When I'm on my bike, I feel free. On board his KTM, Nicola Duto, number 128, forgets it all, especially his paralysis and his wheelchair. Nothing can stop the 50-year-old Italian, not the sand, not the dunes, and certainly not the accident he had in March 2010. He's here on the Africa Eco Race on a specially modified motorbike. An example of courage, determination and strength of will.
I've never felt like an example to others.
I just had a setback in my career. And now I'm in a wheelchair. It's not a situation I chose for myself, so I could feel sorry for myself. It's a less comfortable situation before, but once a biker, always a biker. Not returning to the bike wasn't even an option. The last thing I wanted to do was to stop. Leaving the biking world to go to 4 wheels was not an option either. To get back on the bike was really my choice, particularly to compete again. It's my passion. There I feel equal to able-bodied athletes. If someone finds me inspirational, that's good. Racing is in his DNA and he tackles difficulties exactly as he does the dunes. Nothing scares me, he says, with a disconcerting ease. His motto, never give up. It's sort of my motto. If you do rally raids or any other sport, you mustn't give up. Out there we all suffer the same. Competing, going to the beach, buying an ice cream. It's all difficult, but it's also about gaining experience. We learn every day. The bike taught me to face real obstacles, and I have faced many. I adapted this metaphor to my philosophy in life. What happened to me was fate. I never gave up before this, and I don't see why I would start now. Out on the course, Nicola Duto doesn't hold back. He throws himself into the fight. The desert is his comfort zone. He rides with 2 ghost riders, as they're known, one in front and one behind. My job is to follow Nicola and help him if he falls.
E di assisterlo in caso dovesse cadere.
I'm not really in the competition. It's not either easy or hard. If he falls, how he falls, it's complicated. It's difficult because I need to manage my own energy so I can be there and on it in case he falls.
Il pilota che mi segue è quello che arriva subito, no? In caso di caduta.
The rider who follows me is the one who helps immediately if I fall. He pulls with all his might. If he can't get me up and I'm in an awkward position, the one in front comes back to help. It's quite simple. If one of us has to stop with a problem, we solve it together. We're like the three musketeers, all for one and one for all. 430 kilometers of time stage from Edzidin to Jigjiga on the programme today. We rarely see competitors arriving so late after they were expected, nearly 4 hours late for the first bike in, and for the others it was a long, arduous and problematic day. Notably for Mami Masuda from Japan, her engine broke and she came home in the sweeper. Norbert Dubois hasn't had much fun either. The first Frenchman in the GC had a mechanical issue at 180 kilometres and came home very late to the bivouac. It was a difficult day too for the legendary Franco Pico. The Italian had a broken engine in Morocco and this time left the stage at kilometre 8. He suffered too but has a lot of experience, and so as per the last 2 days, Anders Berglund came home first Motul Extreme rider. In the GC, the Swede is 15th and the first in the category. Alessandro Botturi had lost 2 minutes to Paul Anders Ullevalseter today. He now only has 2 minutes on the Norwegian, all to play for in the next 2 stages for the current title holder. Watch out though, because Paul Anders Ullevalseter is ready to pull out the big guns. The former 2-time winner has never felt more motivated. It should be an exciting finale to the rally. Ullevalseter finished the day in 3rd place, about 8 minutes behind Giovanni Gritti. 7th yesterday, 2nd the day before. The Italian is in a great rhythm. Just a shame he lost so much time in Morocco. It was a very, very long day. I didn't have any hopes for the podium, so I let the others open it up and we all rode together. In fact, he climbed 14 places to number 13 tonight. Today's victor is this man. Lyndon Poskitt is having so much fun on his KTM. He came in 2 minutes 15 seconds ahead of Gritti to take his 2nd stage victory.
No, I have to say, that was the best rally stage I've ever done. Like, it had everything. I mean, it was hard and it hurt, but it had every single type of terrain. Like hard rocky tracks, fast pistes, sand dunes, really difficult sand dunes. The organisation really put a good stage on today. That was my favourite stage of them all. Some interesting moments. I did a desert cartwheel over the handlebars. That was interesting. But yeah, it was fun, and I gained some time on some guys early on, so hopefully a good result today.
Let's have a look at the results, and a 2nd victory for Poskitt ahead of Gritti and Ullevalseter. 3 Italians in the top 5. In the GC, Botturi still has a couple of minutes over Ullevalseter. Nothing is settled yet. Poskitt is 30 minutes behind. 4th place for Lucci. On the occasion of this incredible stage, those that remain went past Elephant Rock and over Nega Pass. Amongst them, Mamadou Bokoum. The Senegalese rider is in his first Rally Raid marathon and is currently 3rd in the Motul Extreme Rider and 18th overall. Quite far behind the leaders, however, Lyndon Poskitt lost out big time today. The Brit, 5th home, had fuel pump problems 20 kilometres from the finish and lost precious time. Ullevalseter also lost time. He got separated at the end, but the Norwegian in 3rd place was happy with his work today, even though he lost 2 minutes to Alessandro Botturi. The Italian left 4th this morning, caught Ullevalseter and brought his Yamaha home 2nd. The GC leader rode carefully in order to stay on top. The finish line in Dakar is within sight. Good, good. I tried to push it a bit at the end and then I fell. I caught Paul and after I rode the stage with Lucci. It was really fast. We weren't a bit with him in front, then me in front. I'm pleased with how it went. Botturi was full of praise today for the stage winner, whose future he says is bright. Paolo Lucci is probably the revelation of this 12th edition. The Italian is a very good navigator. He left 5th and won his 2nd stage in 3 days. I left 5th and caught up with Botturi. It was very difficult because I had to find the others, and afterwards we tried to leave them behind. A beautiful stage and a positive day. A look at the results for stage 9 and 2 Italians at the top, in fact 3 in the top 4, Lucci, Botturi and Gritti. In the GC, Botturi takes 2 minutes over Ullevalseter today, but is still only 4 minutes 8 seconds ahead of the Norwegian. Lucci goes back into 3rd, pushing Poskitt down to 4th. Kicked in the Africa Eco Race camp, but the competitors are still a long way from the finish. Today saw the longest stage of the rally, another full day of stunning scenery over brand new terrain. Originally on the menu today, 500 kilometres of timed stage from El Kouaz to Edini, but things are not always that simple. So in the end, the 10th stage had around 250 kilometres of timed sector, and it was the bikers who suffered the most today. Many of them fell, thankfully with no major injuries. Amaury Baratin came home in the top 10 today. He finished 10th and 1st Motul Extreme rider. The vast majority of bikers were happy about the neutralisation, amongst them Konrad Dabrowski, the 18-year-old Polish rider. He is really feeling the efforts of this humongous challenge. Today he finished 6th and had to dig deep and concentrate on staying in touch with the leaders, most notably Botturi. Alessandro Botturi left 3rd and finished 3rd. The Italian title holder could possibly make it a double. Does he think he can do it? And if so, he knows who to thank for it. I only have 2 minutes lead over Paul. It's not really easy. This year, Paul is very, very strong. I always try to push as hard as possible. The one who leaves behind always takes back the 2 minutes from the other because the navigation is hard. The one who leads has to open the course. Tomorrow is the last day.
Partirà, penso, Gritti per primo, che ha gatto la speciale. Bravissimo Giovanni.
I think Giovanni will be out first. He's a great guy. The other day he stopped to give me fuel. I'm still here, thanks to him.
In testa alla generale lo devo grazie a lui.
Paul Anders Ullevalseter left second this morning and suffered again with a very sore shoulder. The neutralisation at the refuelling point was a blessing for him. He came in second, took 2 minutes back from Botturi to sit only 2 minutes behind him in the GC. One question on everyone's lips: can he still win the rally?
If I am totally crazy loco tomorrow, yes. And normally it's better to start behind, but actually tomorrow, I don't know.
He can try, but it'll be tricky. He starts after Botturi. No question of a podium place for this man, but a cracking stage victory nonetheless for the saviour of the day. Giovanni Gritti wins his first stage and gives Botturi another chance at lifting the trophy on Sunday. It went well today. Today, Moto said to me, "On you go, you will easily catch us." I went full speed for 70 kilometres, breathtaking. And when I finally caught them, I did the rest of the race with them. Yes, the other day I gave him 2 litres of fuel. He couldn't get to the refuelling. It was the right thing to do. So, a quick look at the results and a first stage victory for Giovanni Gritti ahead of Ullevalseter and Botturi. We find 3 Italians in the top 5. In the GC, Botturi only has 2 minutes over Ullevalseter. This time last year, he had a little more than 7 minutes over the Norwegian. A short, fast stage for the last day in Mauritania today. 187 kilometres of timed sector between Idini and Teverit. A few dunes to cross, but nothing too taxing for the last big stage of the africarace 2020. The real heroes in the bike category are the Motul Xtreme riders. They're here without a mechanic and ride alone. They work more and they sleep less. Amaury Baratin arrives in Senegal as the fastest in this category. Former track pilot, the Frenchman threw himself into rally raid quite recently and has learned fast. I'm happy I didn't come here for this. I got the bug 2 or 3 days in and decided to go for it. I pushed and pushed and pushed every day. Yesterday was an amazing stage. I took the lead yesterday. It was hard. Paul Anders Ullevalseter finishes 7th in this 11th stage and takes 2nd place overall in the GC. The Norwegian wasn't supposed to even be riding this race, but it's amazing what a bit of incentive can do.
Oh yes, in this race I was not supposed to race at all. So, but then I got a challenge to, if I was on the podium, to collect money for the Mercy ship. It's now in Dakar. He's staying there for 10 months. He's arrived in August. So with the 2nd place, I collect a lot of money to give to the ship. My sponsors have to give money now. So I think that's a good thing, and I could race also. So this was the first time on my rally bike since last January. So I'm very happy to be on the podium. Yes.
Coming in fifth today, Alessandro Botturi wins the Africa Eco Race for the second year in a row. A satisfying victory for the Italian. I'm very happy because, unfortunately, when I arrived, I wasn't on great form, but I hid it well. In the Pan Africa, I fell quite heavily, and I wasn't mentally on top form when I got here. Day by day, I got more confident. I felt better, and I showed myself I could still compete. Here is the big discovery of the rally. 26 years old and in his first rally raid, Paolo Lucci won his third stage today and will step onto the third step of the podium tomorrow. A look at the results and victory for Paolo Lucci in 2 hours, 14 minutes and 38 seconds, ahead of Matt Sutherland and Jacek Czachor. Fifth place for Botturi. But it's Alessandro Botturi who wins the Africa Eco Race with 3 minutes 59 seconds from Paul Anders Ullevalseter. Lucci is third. The first Motul Extreme rider, Amaury Baratin, was 14th. For this man, the Africa Eco Race is more than just a race. It's a lifelong project he's dreamed of since childhood. Between technical issues, getting stuck and digging deep within himself, Mamadou Bokoum has finished his first Monaco Dakar. At 41 years old, the Senegalese rider got stuck into the adventure as if it were the Dakar of old. Alone, without a mechanic, he is a Motul Extreme rider. In all honesty, it's a dream. It's something I've wanted to do since I was small. The opportunity arose this year to do the rally. Really, it's a dream come true. My goal in coming here was just to finish, just to ride well. My goal is to get to Dakar. So if it all goes well and I get to Dakar, I have already won. It will be really great to see my friends again. I have lots of friends waiting for me. So it will be great to see them and my family, to see everyone. Overall, it's gone really well. At the start, it was a beautiful course. It's only since we started in Mauritania that it's been hellish, hellish, hellish. But overall, honestly, we've had a great rally. My best memories, what are they? My best memories on the rally are the atmosphere in bivouac between the bikers and the Malle Moto. Seriously, we have great fun. It's great here. We help each other. Every time we need something, we don't always have it. So we help each other. We live the biker spirit. There were plenty of hellish moments in Morocco. I fell, I couldn't speak to my family. I fell with the bike. Fortunately, I was fine. The bike was a bit scraped on the front, but that's normal. You don't ride a bike without having some falls. Hellish moments in Mauritania too, in the dunes. I used to ride bikes in rallies in Senegal. Here it's another level. And there are a lot of teams. The standard is much higher. I hope that it won't stop here and that it continues. Yes, I'll be back to improve with everything I've learned. Yes, I'll be back. Mamadou Bokoum finishes the rally in 19th place and third in the Motul Extreme Rider category. This is what they came for. It's what they have dreamed of for a very long time. The remaining teams in the Africa Eco Race 2020 have made it to the shores of the mythical Lac Rose. All that remains is to revel in the finale of these 2 weeks of blood, sweat and gears. Today's plan, the final 22 kilometres of time stage from Nyokob to Lac Rose. Here's a little look at their adventure.
when I ride in the desert, I relax. It's the only time in the year I have only one mind in the head. I only think about the desert and the road, nothing else.
Africa is my dream, biggest dream.
Riding the bike on a special stage for me is just like, it's part of my soul, you know. It's like man and machine out in the desert, big wide open spaces. It's just amazing.
Two weeks ago in Monaco, there were nearly 80 bikes on the start line. Today, there were still 61 ready to race along the shores of Lac Rose, 60 of them behind Alessandro Botturi. In the sands of Mauritania, his strategy was never to leave any tracks for the others to follow. A wise choice, and the Italian retains his title after a very challenging race. This year, the race was much more difficult, much harder, because in Mauritania there was a lot of wind. We couldn't see anything. The stages were very, very complicated and difficult. I'm happy. In the final GC, Alessandro Botturi wins his second title with a mere 3 minutes and 59 seconds over Paul Anders Ullevalseter. Lyndon Poskitt was third, ahead of Paolo Lucci. The 18-year-old Konrad Dubowski is eighth. Sticking with two wheels and on to those that do the Africa Eco Race the hardest way. Those that go back to basics, passion sprinkled with pitfalls and pain. The Motul Xtreme riders do the rally under the same conditions as 40 years ago. The goal to get to Dakar with only 2 trunks. These are the real adventurers. The best of them all this year was the Frenchman Amaury Baratin, a former track rider. Doing a rally on your own without assistance is a bold choice, but it certainly makes victory all the sweeter. I couldn't imagine it any other way. I want to be responsible for the A to Z of my results or my lack of results. And if something goes wrong, I only have myself to blame. When it works, I want it to be for me. It was the only goal when I left, but very quickly I wanted to win the Moto. I managed both goals. Perfect. The final results in the Motul Xtreme rider are as follows. Victory for Amaury Baratin ahead of the Swede Anders Berglund. Hats off to the Senegalese rider Mamadou Bokoum, who finished third and with a hero's welcome to his hometown of Yesterday evening, we went to find out Jean-Louis Schlesser's thoughts on the race. Tired but happy, the race director is delighted to see his baby growing up. There have been very few big bike accidents. It's always what I worry about. I'm always afraid that there will be an accident. There have been a few. The helicopters have worked hard. All's well that ends well. A great win, and also in the Moto, because for us the Moto is important. We have 17 of them with Motul. Botturi kept pushing Paul, who sadly finished 4 minutes behind. But it was back and forth between them, one winning and then the other. Certainly for Nicolas Duto on a bike with 2 ghost riders. Gave me goosebumps to see them. I have a story about that. I was at a refueling point and I heard speaking. I had a rider next to me speaking into his helmet. I thought, is he speaking to me? I turned round and I saw Nicolas Duto arriving slowly, about to fall. I leapt forward to hold his bike. That really touched me, blew me away to see him riding this race. What incredible courage. The best image for me was from the plane. We passed over enormous canyons, including the Nega Pass. And I think even the assistance vehicles who came from Attar to Tijikja were impressed by the scenery. And there we have it. The 12th edition of the Africa Eco Race has come to an end. We'll let the images speak for themselves. See you next year. Bye-bye.